You know, there are some stories that don't leave you. Not because they're loud, but because they quietly change the way you see your own life. This one did that to me. Back in 1976, there was a young heart doctor, Japanese, full of energy, sharp mind, clean white coat, the kind of man who believed science had already figured most things out. He traveled to a small island called Okinawa. Now listen, in his mind, the story was already written. He thought he would find old people, weak bodies, failing hearts, medicine bottles lined up on tables, the usual ending we all expect, because that's what we've been taught, right? That growing old means slowly breaking down. So he arrived prepared, bag in hand, reports ready, mind full of answers. But the moment he started looking around, something didn't feel right. There were no crowds of sick people, no long hospital lines, no urgency. Just old people, really old people. And they weren't lying in beds. They were outside, walking, talking, tending small gardens, laughing softly like they had nowhere to rush. Men in their 80s, 90s, even past 100. And their bodies weren't behaving like old bodies. That's what shook him. Because aging, where he came from, looked very different. So he started checking. Blood pressure, normal. Sugar levels, stable. Hearts, surprisingly strong. Arteries cleaner than men decades younger. No heavy dependence on drugs, no constant treatment. And this wasn't rare. This wasn't some miracle case. This was normal life there. Now think about that for a second. What if what you call normal aging isn't actually normal? That question stayed with him. His name was Makoto Suzuki. And instead of leaving, instead of going back to his comfortable world where everything made sense, he stayed. Not for a short project, not for a research paper. He stayed for 40 years. 40 years watching, listening, trying to understand one thing. Why do these people not fall apart the way we do? And here's the part most people don't expect. What he found wasn't exciting. No hidden gene, no secret medical breakthrough, no magic pill. It was something almost disappointing because it was too simple. It was their everyday life, what they ate, how they ate, when they stopped eating. Small decisions repeated quietly for decades. You see, we have a problem. We don't trust simple things. If something is easy to understand, we assume it can't be powerful. So we chase complexity, supplements, strict diets, complicated routines. We feel safer when things sound scientific, structured, advanced. But those people, they didn't even think like that. They didn't optimize. They just lived. And somehow, they were winning. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. They hear about Okinawa and say, oh, it must be genetics, or it's probably the clean air, or the classic one, they just didn't have access to junk food. Sounds logical, but it falls apart the moment you look closer. Because when Okinawan people moved to other countries, places like Brazil, and started eating like everyone else, that long life advantage, gone. Not slowly fading, gone within 2 generations. And when Western fast food reached Okinawa itself, that same island, once known for extraordinary longevity, dropped in rankings fast, especially among men. So no, it wasn't destiny, it wasn't luck, it wasn't even environment. It was behavior. Daily behavior. And that's uncomfortable, because if behavior created it, then behavior can destroy it. but also it means you can rebuild it. Now, let me tell you something most people never realize. Those people weren't just eating healthy. That word is too weak, too vague. What they were doing, without knowing it, was controlling three silent forces inside the body. Three things that don't hurt at first. Three things you don't notice until it's too late. Inflammation, oxidative damage, and unstable blood sugar. Now, you don't wake up one day and feel these. They don't knock on your door. They build quietly, day after day, meal after meal, year after year, until one morning you feel different, slower, heavier, foggy, and you think this is just aging. No, that's accumulation. That's the bill finally arriving. In the West, we manage these with pills, one for inflammation, one for sugar, one for the heart. Adjust doses, add more, stack solutions. But those people, they handled all of it with food. No tracking, no stress, no obsession, just habits. And I know what you're thinking right now. If it was that simple, why isn't everyone doing it? Because simple doesn't feel powerful, and consistency doesn't feel exciting. People don't stick to things that don't give instant results. Now, let me ask you something. What did you eat this morning? Take a second. Really think about it. Toast? Cereal? Something quick? Something easy? Now go back 10 years. What were you eating then? If it looks the same, then your body has been running the same internal reaction every single morning for a decade. Quietly, no warning, just building pressure under the surface. And most people never notice until something breaks. That's where the truth starts. Not in a lab, not in a pill bottle, in your daily plate. And the first thing those people ate was not what you think, and it changed everything. You know, the part that really stayed with me wasn't the science. It was the simplicity of what they were doing without even realizing it mattered. There was this man, lived in a small village up north in Okinawa. He was over 100 years old, not just alive, living, still moving around, still working a little in the soil, hands in the dirt, back slightly bent but not broken. And when they checked his body, his heart looked like someone decades younger. That doesn't happen by accident. That doesn't come from luck. That comes from repetition, from doing the same quiet thing again and again for a lifetime. And you know what he ate most of his life? Not something fancy, not expensive, not rare. A sweet potato. That's it. But not the kind most people imagine. This one, deep purple, grown in that soil. And for them, it wasn't a side dish. It was the center of the meal. Day after day, year after year. And here's where people miss the point. They hear sweet potato and think, oh, okay, healthy food, got it. No, it wasn't just food. It was stability. It kept your blood sugar steady. No spikes, no crashes, no roller coaster inside the body. And you don't feel that happening, but your body does. Every spike is like a small fire. Every crash leaves you craving again. And over time, that cycle wears you down, quietly, slowly, until it becomes your normal. Now think about your day, that moment mid-morning when your energy drops. That craving in the afternoon, that need for something sweet or something quick, that's not hunger, that's instability. And most people have been living like that for years without questioning it. Those people didn't have that problem because their food didn't create it. Now here's something even stranger, leaning in slightly. They didn't avoid carbohydrates. That's what surprises most people. They ate carbs every day. Sweet potatoes, rice, beans. So how did they not end up with the same problems everyone else is facing now? That question bothered researchers for a long time because it didn't fit the modern narrative, until they noticed something, a bitter vegetable, one most people would reject after the first bite, bitter melon. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's not something you eat for pleasure. It's sharp, strong, almost unpleasant at first, but those people kept eating it. Not every day, but often enough, cooked simply with tofu, with egg, sometimes a bit of meat. Nothing fancy, just part of the meal. And inside that bitter taste, was something powerful. It helped the body handle sugar better, not by removing it, but by managing it. That's a big difference. See, we try to eliminate problems. They learned how to balance them. And balance is quieter. It doesn't feel dramatic, but it lasts longer. Now here's where most people go wrong today. They hear about something like this, and the first thing they do is, leans in slightly, look for a pill, a capsule.
Something easy, something quick. But that's not how those people lived. They didn't separate things. They didn't isolate nutrients. They ate real food, together, chewed slowly, digested naturally. And there's something about that process we've completely lost. Now, I want you to think about the last time you ate until you were completely full. That heavy feeling, that slight discomfort, that moment where you lean back and say, "Yep, that was too much." Most people think that's normal. It's not. Over there, they had a quiet rule, not written anywhere, not forced, just understood. Stop before you're full. Not hungry, not stuffed, somewhere in between, around 80%. And listen carefully now. That small difference changes everything. Because your body doesn't need perfection. It needs space. Space to repair, space to breathe, space to function without being overloaded. But we don't give it that. We push until full, sometimes beyond, every single day. And then we wonder why we feel heavy, slow, tired. It's not just what you eat, it's when you stop. Those people didn't count calories, they didn't track anything, they just stopped a little early. And over years, that small habit built a completely different body, a different aging process. Now, here's the part that's hard to accept. There is no secret, no hidden trick, no magic shortcut. It's just small things, repeated long enough until they shape you. A simple morning meal that keeps you steady. A bitter food that helps your body manage what you eat. And the discipline to stop before you've had enough. That's it. That's what people lived on for 100 years. Not chasing, not optimizing, not stressing, just doing, quietly. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually paid attention to how your body felt after eating? Not distracted, not scrolling, just aware. Most people don't remember, and that's where everything starts slipping. Because when you stop listening, you start drifting, slowly. And one day you wake up and you don't recognize how you got there. That's what I've seen happen to so many people. And if I'm being honest, it happened to me too. I didn't notice when things started changing
energy dropping, mind slowing, body feeling heavier. I just thought this is what happens. But it's not what has to happen. That's the truth those people lived. Not perfectly, not dramatically, just consistently. And consistency, that's the hardest part for most people, because it's quiet. It doesn't give you instant proof. You don't wake up tomorrow completely different.
But something small shifts, then another, until one day you realize you feel better, lighter, clearer, and you can't point to one moment it happened, because it wasn't one moment. It was everything done repeatedly. Now, before you go, don't try to change everything. That's where people fail. Just start with one thing. Tomorrow morning, eat something simple, something steady, and pay attention to how you feel a few hours later. That's it. No pressure, no big plan, just awareness. Because once you feel the difference, you won't need motivation. You'll understand. And once you understand, you don't go back the same way. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Take care of yourself while you still can. Not later, now.